Hey neighbor, welcome to the show. It's mid-October and our fall garden is just doing wonderful. But today we're talking about something you need to do in the fall that you may not have done before, strawberries. Welcome to the Row by Row Gardening Show, the best dadgum gardening show on the internet, where we talk about gardening, a little bit of cooking, and growing your own food. Now sit back and enjoy. Well, before we get into it, I want to show those beautiful strawberry plugs. Look there. We are shipping them at the moment there, and we're going to be talking about today some of the nuances of growing strawberries, fertility, insect disease, and weed control. Some of the most problematic things growing strawberries, and some things that make it so dadgum easy. But first of all, it's middle of October, and I think October is probably the best gardening month of the fall, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm finally able to get out there and do a little bit. I planted my strawberries yesterday in the green stalk. What you been doing?
Well, I got my carrots planted, I got beets planted, I got spinach planted. I got a lot of we got a lot of stuff going on in the garden.
And where did you plant them?
I planted that in your garden, in one of your raised beds.
Yeah, you kind of are taking over my garden a little
Well,
bit.
the thing about it is you don't need much room to grow carrots. We could grow a lot of carrots in a 4x8 raised bed. And you had a couple that was empty, and I doing you know what I should. I went down there and helped you out a little bit. Plus, we planted celery.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a lot of room for celery. I tell people one 4x8 raised bed of celery will give you all you want to eat. So October is just that beautiful time of the year for us gardeners in the South to be transplanting and be direct seeding. Direct seeding, man, there's a host of things you can plant right now.
I planted some magnolia blossom peas. I hope they should be okay.
Perfect timing, yep.
In the green stalk.
In the green stalk. We've got a lot of things that we can do right now. Cover crops. October is just the time to do it, to get her done.
Yeah. Andy from True Grit did a good video on doing cover crops.
Yep.
This past weekend.
Yep. Although October is the time to plant strawberries, as we're going to talk about today. Although onions, for you guys that like to jump the gun a little bit, it's another month on onions. Onions is a November thing, starting in November for us gardeners in the South. And it goes through all the way into the spring for our friends up north. It's a little too quick on that. Had somebody the other day wanting to plant their onions. I said, hold off a little bit. It's a little too quick. But for 95% of everything else, October's just a month for us.
I'm excited.
Yep. It's that time of year where the weather's cooled off. You get up in the morning time, you feel that little cold bite in the air, and you think,
You put on long sleeves, and then by the end of the day, you need to change.
yeah. All right, so let's get into strawberries today. Now, they are basically three different types of strawberries. We have everbearing strawberries, which is the ones you can plant, and if you make a permanent strawberry bed. And I can remember probably, I hate to say this, but it's probably been 30 years ago. 25 or 30 years ago, I planted some everbearing strawberries in a bed. And to have a permanent bed, because back then, that was before the internet, we didn't have a lot of information. And mine didn't do that well. I remember making some little bitty strawberries, but I didn't make a lot of good strawberries because I really didn't know what I was doing. But everbearing strawberries are those type that you can plant and leave permanently in a bed.
And you can do that here in the South?
You can. They don't perform that well.
Because most of the commercial farmers don't do that.
No, they don't. And there's a reason for that. They're not very productive.
Now, I had two from last year that in the raised bed. They were kind of covered that survived.
Yeah. And some of these other type berries can have everbearing tendencies to them. That's probably what you're talking about there. But everbearing is those type, and our friends up north do a lot better job with this than we do. But if you ever seen somebody's yard or their garden where they got this straw mulch type bed there and they got strawberries in there and they just keep them going on and on and on, that's what that is the everbearing. Works good in certain situations, doesn't work that great for us. And then we have day neutral strawberries, which day neutral strawberries, they will put off little spurts of different harvests out there. You normally get 2 or 3, maybe 4 harvests out of those. You can plant those in the springtime and they'll come off and you'll get maybe late spring, early summer harvest, and you'll get sporadic harvests of those.
Is that why my mulberry tree keeps doing sporadic?
I don't think so. I think mulberry tree's gonna be a little different than a strawberry.
Well, I know somebody said that it was like
A day neutral?
something like that.
Huh? That's interesting. I don't know. She got a dwarf mulberry tree that we've been fascinated with.
I know. I've been eating mulberries.
It's
all week.
crazy how much that thing produces. It doesn't
right.
take a lot of room. We got a little sidetrack there.
Squirrel there.
Squirrel. All right. Day neutral strawberries are those that you plant. It's kind of in between the Juneberry and the everbearing. Okay. And then we have the one that we plant here, which is called the Juneberry type plants.
Why do they call it June? Because it usually starts producing in
For us.
April.
For us, it does. For some of our people up north, it is a June bearing strawberry, and that's the reason it gets its name, because the majority of the people, they do come in around June. For us here in the deep south, what? It's
March, April.
April, May. April, May, that's it for us. You can pull them up and be done with it. We grow them as annuals. We plant them in the fall, and then we harvest them, and then we do away with them and plant them again next year. Now, all the U-pick farmers, if you go to any of these U-pick strawberry farms, they use the June-bearing type strawberries because it just works wonderful. Strawberries have some bad tendencies. Two of the bad tendencies are weed control and disease. And we're going to cover today how you can counteract that. But those are the biggest two things that you got to worry about growing strawberries. You can plant strawberries in two different ways. I don't have a bare root here, but a bare root is simply just a strawberry plant with a dry root on the bottom of it. This
Is that what
is
your
a plug.
starts were?
No, they were tips. I'll show you in just, well, I can cut one off right here right now. I got my knife here. I got a strawberry plant off to the side here. Let's go ahead and pull it in here.
Okay.
All right. So we get our tips this year out of Idaho. And this runner right here, see that runner right there? That is what is considered, whoops. Gotcha.
Shower here.
That's what's considered a tip. So that right there is what we planted 5 weeks ago. And we stuck this into the ground. I say the ground, the pot and soil right there, that little bit right there, but we didn't cover up this bud right here. Because that bud right here, if you cover it up, you got problems. See that bud?
Oh.
So we stuck it in that much right there, and we kept it wet. We misted it every 5 minutes for 3 days, and these things rooted in. Hand me that plug back again.
So you can take all these runners?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So this went from this to this in 5 weeks. Now, that was under ideal conditions, okay? You at home probably going to take you a little bit longer, but you can absolutely do this right
But
here.
keep it moist.
Got to keep it wet for 3 days, and then we'd gradually wean them off from that. That is what is considered a tip right there.
Ooh, look at that one.
Yep. So this strawberry plant right here,
So you could actually do 2 of those.
you could do 2 of them in here. I planted this in a grow bag. Oh man, maybe 4 weeks ago. I planted this one in a grow bag, and look how much it's grown right there. So all of these runners, now some people call these daughters, I call them runners, need to be clipped off. Take your clippers. I'm gonna use a knife today because that's all I got. Excuse my cough, I've had a little cough going on there. When you plant these strawberries, first of all, let me talk about planting them. You don't want to plant them too deep. You want to plant these things soil level right there. If you're planting these daughters or these runners right here, you don't want to cover up that bud right there.
So it's not like tomatoes, don't.
No, you don't want to plant them deep. Plant these at soil level right here. All right. Once these plants get started going, you want to keep all of these daughter. Man, look at there. I didn't do this on purpose because I want to show everybody what it looked like. I'm going to go around here and I'm going to trim all these runners off, because you want to keep all the runners trimmed off till the middle of January, because that takes a lot of your energy. That plant is wanting to reach out there and reproduce, so we want to keep those cut off. Also, these things will start blooming. We want to keep these blooms pinched off till the middle of January also. So off this one plant here, we're going to trim these up, and we're going to see how many we could propagate off this again. So theoretically, you could keep strawberries going all the time. Wow, look at there. And these things root really easy. Normally I would have done this a few days ago before they got so many on there, but I want to show you guys exactly what it looked like. That's a big one there, isn't it? All right. Is that all? There's one right there. There's another one. They're everywhere.
Everywhere.
They're everywhere. All right. So just off that, we've got one. I'm gonna throw that one away. That's more of a leaf. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got 10 that we could propagate, stick in there 3 to 4 weeks. They're gonna be ready to go again. So you can just kind of keep this thing going over and over again. You probably, I mean, you could plant these things all the way up to probably, it's according to what climate you're in. If you're down in Florida, you could plant these things probably all the way up in January and be okay. But you could take one plant and just keep propagating them and have all you want. Extremely easy to root, which is a good thing about them. Now you see this right here? This is a perfect example here how somebody can grow strawberries on a small scale. You don't have much room. You got a balcony, you got your garden full. You can plant these things in grow bags. They do wonderful in grow bags. Green stalks, they do wonderful in green stalks as well. So this is a 5-gallon root pouch right here. And you see how healthy this plant is? Just absolutely loves it.
That's so pretty and green. Have you fertilized it?
Oh yeah, I put a little complete organic in there when I planted it. So that's kind of the key there is fertility.
The leaves look so much bigger than last year.
They're healthier.
Healthier.
Yep.
Yeah. If y'all ordered some last year, we had a little oopsie, didn't we?
Yeah, our strawberry plants, of course, it was all over the board last year. Strawberry plants were just bad last year. We wanted to bring it in-house and start growing our own this year, and we've done so much better with them. We're so proud of that. So kind of getting the hang of it. I did make one little boo-boo. I think I over-fertilized with a particular fertilizer too much and got just a little leggier than what I would wanted. But for the most part, it turned out really well.
So when to plant? Zone 3 to 6.
Oh man, 3 to 6 is going to be probably, it's going to be springtime. For them, I mean, we're talking about April, May.
Can you grow them inside?
You have to have a grow light, and you have to take a big grow light to grow this inside.
Zone 7 to 9?
So strawberries are very, very cold tolerant. So if it gets below 15 or so, you can cover them up with some straw or whatever, but grow zone 7 through 9, plant them this time of the year, and they do wonderful. Overwinter them, and then
Yeah, even with the snow we had last year,
yeah,
mine did okay.
snow really kind of insulates them and helps learn. If you get a prolonged period below 15 degrees, I would cover them, definitely.
So you need 8 to 10 hours of sun.
They like a lot of fertilizer. Strawberries are heavy feeders, and one of the problems I see most people make is they don't fertilize them early enough and enough early on. So you want to grow as much plant root system as you can before the middle of January. When it starts putting on fruit, you kind of want to back off of that fertility a little bit. But we want to grow a good, strong, healthy, look at those leaves there. That's what we have to, a good, strong, healthy plant there. We want to do that early on. Develop that root system so it can, withstand a lot of stress.
What if it turns off hot on you?
They'll take a good bit of heat. Now they will get some leaf scorch. Let's just say we had something weird happen. It turned off to be 95 degrees for a few days. They will scorch the leaves a little bit. You can go in there and pick those off if they bother you a whole lot, but they will get a little leaf scorch on if it gets hot. My recommendation as far as fertility goes is a complete organic or any type of organic fertilizer incorporated into the soil a week, 2 weeks before planting. I didn't because this is a root pouch. I just, when I potted it up, I put some in the middle right here, which has worked out, as you can see fine there. But these organic fertilizers work wonderful, but they take a little bit longer to break down and become available to the plant than our synthetic fertilizers. That's the reason we like to do it ahead of time so that the microbes start breaking those fertilizers down, and when that plant gets ready for it, they're available to the plant.
So when they get these in the mail, how soon do they start fertilizing?
I would plant them and I would let them, well, first of all, I would put my complete organic in there ahead of time. You tell me as far as adding any after that, I would wait till they started getting established a little bit, till they started putting out some roots there, and probably a couple of weeks.
Fertility. What's the pH?
Normally speaking, anywhere between 6 and 6.5 is the ideal pH for strawberries.
Pretty much like
All your vegetables, yeah. The exception that's going to be blueberries, as we know they like a low pH.
rich in organic matter.
Yeah, the richer, the more compost you have in there, the better off that plant's going to do.
Need the well draining soil. They don't need to stay wet.
They don't. One of the biggest issues, and you can use a granular fertilizer, like an all-in-one 10-10-10, if you're not going to put drip on them. If you put drip on them, you can spoon feed them with that blue juice, that 20-20-20 and the micro boost, and they'll do fine. I would probably do an application of calcium nitrate probably somewhere around the 1st of January. I think that would be a good application to get some calcium into the plant there around the 1st of January and help that leaf structure and that cell wall structure of that strawberry get a little thicker, so it makes a better, healthier berry. A well-balanced fertilizer plus a calcium nitrate application 1st of January plus micro boost with a pre-plant of complete organic, I think it's a perfect strategy for growing strawberries.
If you look on our website under House University, there's growing guides, and we have a strawberry growing guide, and that schedule for fertilization is listed out.
Yep. So what are the problems with strawberries? Well, let's talk about insects first. The reason we don't have much problem with insects is because we're planting these strawberries and we're growing them in a time of year when insects are not real active during the wintertime. So normally speaking, we don't have a lot of problems with insects on strawberries, although you can have the normal enemies out there. Aphids, thrips, you can even have some worm damage. You can have all the usual suspects that you have on your vegetable garden there, and you can use any of the things that you normally use. Nothing out of the ordinary, just use what you normally use on your vegetable garden. Neem, spinosad, or if you need to go something a little bit tougher than that, you can use takeout. Any of those work fine on controlling these insects on strawberries. We just don't have much problem with them because we just don't have the insect pressure in the wintertime that we do in the spring and the summertime. Disease, on the other hand, is a major issue with strawberries. It's one of the things that we really have to.
Is that everywhere or just
It
here?
is. It's just the nature of the beast on strawberries is disease problems. So we have these two right here, which is ideal rotation for strawberries. I'm gonna get to my notes here. Now, liquid cop, which is one of our fungicides that I love to use, doesn't work that well on strawberries. The only thing it really works on is leaf scorch. But these two in combination right here, rotating these two right here, will just about cover all of your disease problems. All right, Fungamax right here. You want to rotate these because they have different modes of actions, and you don't want to create any resistance with disease there. So rotating these two is a perfect strategy. Fungamax here is good for blight, leaf spot, powdery mildew. Now you spray this 14 to 21 days in intervals. So you'll spray it every 14 to 21 days. You can spray this up to day of harvest. Extremely safe, so you don't have to worry about having any pesticide poisoning. I think it's an ounce per gallon on this Fungamax right here. All right, and this is the next one here. This is Garden Phos here. This is one of our great insecticides. This one right here works for red steel, which is a very unusual disease that just affects strawberries here. Phytophthora is a major disease of strawberries. Garden Phos controls that. Root rot, pythium, rhizoctonium, black rot, leather rot, gray mold, and powdery mildew. So with a combination of these two right here, you're going to get pretty much a complete protected against all diseases right there. Now this is what I would do. I would spray Fungamax, then I'd spray Garden Phos, then go back to Fungamax and go to Garden Phos. Do it about every 14 to 21 days. and you'll be perfect. So every 3 weeks, you can spray one of these right here and go back and forth, and you're going to be covered just about all the diseases on the strawberry plants.
And it helps to rotate where you plant them, right?
It does. I would never plant strawberries back in the same place I had them last year. I try to rotate around. Now, if you're doing it in a container, like
The green stalk.
you may want to change
Or
out your
either
pot
the-
medium,
yeah.
or add to your pot medium or something like that. Kind of switch it up a little bit. The garden foss here, it can work. Can have some when you spray the garden foss. Unlike the Fungamax, you just want to get the leaves good and wet. When you spray the garden foss, get a little bit heavier dose on there and try to get it down into the crown of the plant, because it does work on Pythium and Rhizoc. And we have Pythium and Rhizoc activity at the crown and in the root system of the plant. Most of the time I tell you just spray the leaf wetness, but with this garden foss, you probably want to get a little bit heavier and get it down to that crown of the plant to protect against some of those root diseases there. But works wonderful.
We had a lady send in pictures this morning, and she had planted them, but her strawberries was like laying over like this.
They'll come back. Yeah, they'll be fine.
I said, it's probably just a little
Yeah, shipping
transplant
shreds.
shock.
Yep. You can see here, they'll come out with new growth right there. This one right here's already come out with new growth right there. These leaves here may get ugly. They may go by the wayside, but you're going to put on new growth there. That's what you're out to protect.
Do you
right
want to
there.
keep the ugly ones trimmed?
You can if they bother you a whole lot. It's
'Cause
not.
that would bother me.
Well, you could take them off. Yeah, it's no big deal.
How close do you plant them? We didn't talk about that.
Oh, I plant mine about a foot apart, somewhere in there. And you know,
You talking about row spacing?
in row spacing about a foot apart. Row spacing, do whatever works for you. 30, 36 inches. You know, I grew them last year on our lazy garden kit. Works perfect
that's
for that.
right.
Yep. So that's that ground cover that goes down that's every 2 foot apart, because it's what I had. It works wonderful for that. Mulching, while we're on the subject here, weed control is probably one of your biggest issues. Disease and weed control is it for strawberries. So you want to use some kind of mulch. The lazy garden kit works wonderful. You won't get quite as much plant density there because our spacing on the lazy garden kit is every 2 foot, but it worked fine. I had a drip underneath there. Wonderful. I think the best mulch out there to use is wheat straw. To straw underneath these plants here, underneath these leaves, so that you can keep the weeds down, keeps that root system insulated somewhat. The problem with wheat straw, sometimes you get wheat plants in there that come up. So you want to use a mulch that pine straw would work.
Yeah, I use pine straw.
Yeah, any kind of mulch would work, preferably one that didn't have a lot of seeds in it. I love wheat straw, but it does have some wheat seeds in it every now and then. So, the 2 varieties we have this year is Ruby June and Camarosa. I had one grower the other day tell me he thought Ruby June was just a tad bit sweeter, but he also said Camarosa is a great variety. I think for the home gardener, these are 2 wonderful varieties right here that's going to be easy to grow. It's going to give you those big strawberries. And the key to getting those big strawberries is picking those blooms off up to the middle of January. If you don't pick those blooms off, you're going to have small, knotty strawberries. And who wants small, knotty strawberries?
The birds.
The birds.
I read that Ruby June does better in the southern climates.
That's interesting.
That's on our growing guide.
Yeah, Camarosa does extremely well too. Camarosa is probably, it matures out just a little bit
It
earlier.
said
Ruby
that
June does.
Camarosa has more firmer berries, a longer harvest,
And a little bit earlier.
outstanding shelf life, and it's more ideal for commercial farmers.
Yep. Probably so. If you was to plant them side by side, I don't know if you could tell a whole lot of difference in them from a home gardener standpoint, but from extremely good varieties right there. So if you've never grown strawberries before, take in consideration disease control, weed control. If you do your fertility right, you will absolutely be successful. Plant them in a raised bed, plant them in a grow pot, plant them in a lazy garden kit, or just plant them outside in a plot and put some good.
You can plant them in a
down.
flower bed,
Yeah,
as long as you had sun.
yeah.
There's a few questions that we get a lot. One is, why is my strawberry so small? I think you addressed this with pinching off the blooms.
Yep.
Can you overwinter the strawberries?
Well, that's what we're doing here. Yeah, we're planting these and overwintering them. Now, I would not plant this I wouldn't plant this this June bearing variety here to make a permanent strawberry bed. I wouldn't do that.
They could be grown in containers. How long will a strawberry patch last? That would be if you
did an everbearing patch and you was on up north where you didn't have a lot of disease, it could last 3 to 5 years pretty easy. Let's talk about bare root versus plugs a little bit. Plugs ship a little bit easier. The plant's going to be in a little better shape when you receive it. It doesn't stress quite as much. That being said, folks, I'm not taking anything away from bare root strawberries. Bare root strawberries, if you get them in and they're freshly dug, they do extremely well. Most of the time, our spring strawberries that we sell, which is our everbearing strawberries that we're probably going to sell this coming spring, is going to be bare root. You just don't have as much shelf life with a bare root.
So what do they do? Pull them out of the ground and get
They
all
dig
the
'em.
soil off?
They have a shaker. They dig them out of the ground with a machine that shakes all the soil off. Now here's the key to bare root strawberries. They're a little finicky because when you get them, you need to plant them immediately. And when we get them in, we have to ship them immediately and we have to keep them in cold storage. It's a little bit more to get them to you quick, and when you get them, you need to plant them immediately. These are a little bit more forgiving as far as time-wise goes. If you get these in and you can't plant them this week, and you need to wait till next week, just keep them, put them in a pot and keep them watered. They'll be fine. So nothing wrong with bare root strawberries. These don't have near as much transplant shock as the bare roots does, but bare root strawberries is definitely a good option. You don't want old bare root strawberries, though. You want them fresh.
So how are we on inventory? We have plenty?
We have plenty at the moment. We'll probably be sold out within a week or so.
Yeah, there was some people called yesterday wanting some really large orders.
Yeah. They'll be gone within a week or so. So if you haven't got them, go ahead and get them. We'll be selling out in a few days. And you go ahead and get them in the ground and get them growing. Ba-boom.
Boom.
Ba-boom. All right. Any more questions? You got it all covered?
I think we covered it all.
All right.
Another thing you could plant them in is like hanging baskets. They do really well in
Yeah.
hanging. If you have enough sun.
People go crazy over strawberries and hanging baskets in the springtime when they got little strawberries on them. If you're one of those guys that you like to do these little farmers markets and things like that,
Yeah.
let me tell you what to do. Grow you some strawberries, keep these right here, cut off and root these and put you some hanging baskets in. Come springtime, when these things put on berries, you can sell hanging basket strawberries like hotcakes. So that's a good
They're
strategy
just
to make you some spring money.
Kind of, they're so tempting. You just
Yeah,
can't resist.
Can't resist it.
Yeah.
All right, so the garden spotlight this week is Debbie Norris. Yeah, let's get this out of the way. Debbie
I'm gonna
Norris.
plant these.
Yep. You'll be surprised how quick these things root in. Debbie Norris is from Marietta, Georgia, Zone 8A. This was my inaugural year growing melons. I chose the Tasty Bites because they were small and could grow on a trellis. Well, I'm totally blown away. My melons are huge. Some are 5 to 6 pounds and sweet. 5 to 6 inches trellis, about 8 to 10 melons on each trellis.
Those Tasty Bites, that's what I grew, are
Yeah.
just,
They are.
they produce, they are just so
It's
sweet.
unusual to get them as big as she did, because she
Yeah.
must be a really good gardener, but it's unusual, but they do extremely well.
Yeah, that's something everybody should grow if you like
And it doesn't take much room.
cantaloupe. No, I had mine in a 4x8.
And look at her tomato right there. Yep.
What kind of tomatoes
I
does it
don't know what
say?
that is. Yeah. It's a big one, isn't it? All right. Thank you, Debbie, for sending that in. And all right, folks.
Oh, she also said she joined Small Sprouts
Oh, okay.
to learn and expand my garden knowledge, and that has certainly helped her. Small Sprouts is the medium of our subscription boxes.
So on the set somewhere is the
Bumble.
Bobblehead Farmer House. That's what they say. If you find him on the set somewhere, he lurks around different places here. So if you find him, put it in the comments below where he's at. Next week we'll do this week's winner. Last week's winner is Tony Gengler. Am I saying that right?
I think Gengler.
Gengler.
Yeah.
Tony, send us your shipping information to
support@growhouse.com.
And Tony, looky here. You'll be the recipient of them dirty socks right there. Boom. All right,
You had yours
folks.
on yesterday.
I did. I don't have them today, but I had mine on yesterday.
Also in Moultrie this week is the Expo. You want to talk about
It
that?
is wrapped up. Yep, Thursday's the last day of the expo, so it's wrapped up. We've had some
Okay.
people come by and we've enjoyed their company. So, expo. We used to do a booth there years ago. We
Yeah.
don't anymore.
If you was in town, you could stop by. We had some people this morning.
Yep. And we're going to be in Watkinsville, Georgia, sometime in November for the Georgia Bushcraft gathering. Check that out, Georgia Bushcraft gathering. We're going to be up there for that. We'll have the buggy there, the giveaway. So we got the Ranger players that we're doing the giveaway. The drawing will be the 1st of December. You know that we're halfway there. Halfway there to the giveaway.
How many entries do you know?
A lot. I don't know. A lot.
Still have some garlic.
Still have a little bit of garlic left, a little bit. So if you need elephant garlic or any of your hard neck or soft neck garlics, get those. Winding down on plant sales. Strawberry plants, brassicas will end in a couple of weeks. Berries will end in a couple of weeks. So if you hadn't got those, check those out.
Onions are on pre-sale.
Onions on pre-sale. Onions going to be the next big thing. We're steadily planting onions. We got some that's going to be ready by I hope the 10th of November. So middle of November we'll be shipping those out. Everybody's
Biting at the bits.
biting at the bits to plant their onions. All right, folks. Thank you for joining us. Now it's time for you to get outside and get those hands dirty.